Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya, Astatura Satra Sri Srimad His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Prem Sakaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, and all glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Before I begin, I want to thank everybody here for attending and giving me the opportunity to share whatever Srila Prabhupada has so mercifully given not only me but so many of us here. It is a pleasure and a privilege to serve you, and I thank you very much for giving me that opportunity. All glories to your service, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 11, Text 22. Prava Abhivadana Ashlesha Karasparsha Smita Ikshanai Ashvasya Cha Ashvapakebhya Varai Cha Abhimatai Vibhu Pravabhivadana Shlesha Karaspasha Smite Shanai Ashvasya Cha Svapakebhyo Varais Chabi Matayr Vibhu Pravabhivadana Shlesha Karaspasha Smite Shanai Ashvasya Cha Svapakebhyo Varaishabhi Matayr Vibhu Pravabhivadana Shlesha Karaspasha Smite Shanai Ashvasya Cha Svapakebhyo Varaishabhi Matayr Vibhu. Please chant. Mathaya Babu. Prabhavivadana Shlesha Karaspasha Smite Kshanai Ashvasya Chavapake Bhu Paraischa Bimathair Babu. Chabimatharbini. Ladies, please. Anyone else? Prava, by bowing his head. Abhivadana, by greeting with words. Ashlesha, embracing. Karasparsha, shaking hands. Sinita Ikshanai, by a glancing smile. Ashvasya, by encouragement. Cha, and Ashvapakebhya, down to the lowest rank of dog eaters. By Varai, by benedictions. Cha, also. Abhimatai, as desired by. Vibhu, the Almighty. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki. The Almighty Lord greeted everyone present by bowing his head, exchanging greetings, embracing, shaking hands, looking and smiling, giving assurances and awarding benedictions even to the lowest in rank. Please repeat. The Almighty Lord greeted everyone present by bowing his head, exchanging greetings, embracing, shaking hands, looking and smiling, giving assurances and awarding benedictions, even to the lowest in rank. Purport. To receive the Lord, Sri Krishna, there were all grades of population, beginning from Vasudeva, Ugrasena, and Gargamuni, the father, grandfather, and who was Gargamuni? Yes, the teacher. Down to the prostitutes and chandalas, who are accustomed to eat dogs. So it's referring to the chandalas that eat the dogs, not necessarily the prostitutes. Okay? You can get that mixed up, and then you give them even a worse name than they may possibly have, at least in today's morality, who are accustomed to eat dogs. And every one of them was properly greeted by the Lord in terms of rank and position. As pure living entities, all are the separated parts and parcels of the Lord, and thus no one is alien by his eternal relation. Such pure living entities are graded differently in terms of contamination of the modes of material nature. But the Lord is equally affectionate to all his parts and parcels, despite material gradation. He descends only to recall these materialistic living beings back to the kingdom, his kingdom, and intelligent persons take advantage of this facility offered by the personality of Godhead to all living beings. No one is rejected by the Lord from the kingdom of God, and it remains with the living being to accept this or not. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble obeisances unto his lotus feet. Pravabhivadana Shlesha Pravabhivadana Shlesha Karasparsha Smitek Shanai Ashvasya Chas Vapakebhyo Varaish Shabi Matar Vibhu. So as we can see, the Lord has come into the city proper, where so many thousands of people are there waiting, eager to see him, hearts pounding, palms sweating, people shifting from foot to foot, dogs barking. Everyone is eager and happy and greedy to see the Supreme Lord Krishna. It has been some time now. It could be, I don't know the exact amount of time, but it could be a few months since they last saw him. And we have to understand that the Yadus, they're all self-realized souls, according to Srila Prabhupada's previous statements. And a God-realized soul, as these people are, they can't live for a moment without seeing the Supreme Lord. That's their life and soul. And so they can see the Lord in their heart. They can feel the presence of the Lord within their own being. But seeing him with your eyes and possibly touching him with the hands even takes it one step further. Just as I've mentioned in a previous class, that we can see in a mirror picture of the sun, and we could see its brightness, but we cannot feel its warmth. Similarly, in the case of the Lord, when he actually comes in person, and he, as it's mentioned here, and this is very, very beautiful, exchanging greetings, and how he does this, to some he embraces, generally speaking, to those who are either his equals. Actually, nobody is his equals, but from the societal point of view, those who are his own age, or he may just give a greeting, so pleasing to see you. It's been a long time. I wish it hadn't been so long. These kinds of greetings, they just literally make the heart jump and cause the person's already established love to become even deeper, to become warmer, to become more intense. When somebody you love expresses that same type of love, and even to a greater degree, it just has a reciprocating wonderful feeling within one's own being. And all one wants to do is, of course, just serve that wonderful, glorious, lovable person. Shaking hands. So even in those days, over 5,000 years ago, they did the handshakes. Nowadays, they've tried to sanitize it. It's unsanitary to go like this. So now they do what they call the knuckle knock, you see. It was good enough for Krishna. I think it could be good enough for us. Nothing wrong with shaking hands, as Krishna shows. And he's setting an example here. He's taking the position as an ordinary human being. He's not posing himself or presenting himself as the Supreme Lord here, although they all know he's the Supreme Lord. But he's just acting like one of them. And that makes it even more beautiful, more lovable, more worshipable. That it shows that he has no false pride. Although he's the greatest and the highest and the biggest and the grandest, in spite of that, he's ready to bow his head. He shakes the hands, he greets, he looks and smiles, he gives assurances, he awards benediction, even to the lowest in rank. Yeah, the dog eaters, they get blessings. May you become self-realized. Yeah, people eat dogs. Or prostitutes, he doesn't have any value judgments. He doesn't say, well, you're in a low-level profession. I don't even want to look at you, as some moralists today might think. No, not at all. He sees them from the point of view of the soul. And what is that point of view? They're all his parts and parcels. They're all his children. Just like, for example, when we have the sun, and the sun has rays, and rays. And we are like the rays of the sun. But our source, the source of our being, is the sun itself. So because the source of all our being is the sun, and we are all one of the rays of the sun, then we are connected, we are related. We are part and parcel in the sense of being a part and parcel of the sun. So everybody there feels part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna sees everyone there as his part and parcel, and he's happy to see them. Why is he happy? Because they all love him so intensely, so deeply, so diligently. He knows that even when he's away, they're all performing loving service to him. They're all thinking about him. They're thinking of what he's doing. Of course, each person has slightly different rasa. Rasa means the particular mood in which one loves the Supreme Lord. Some may love the Lord as a child. Another may love the Lord as a friend. Another as a servant. Another simply with a sense of reverence. Another may love the Lord as a boyfriend. Like that. So those are the different rasas which are there, and different devotees groove or connect or feel at one with the Lord in their own specific way. But in any event, it's all love. So as I said, some are loving the Lord as their child, and they're looking at him as protector. Some are loving the Lord as simply a servant. And they're just, whatever service there is, they dive into it and do it and love it and are very much grateful for the fact that they get that opportunity. In fact, actually everyone in all the rasas are doing service. It shouldn't be thought of that only those who are in servitorship do service. Everybody does servants. When one is revering the Lord, looking up to the Lord, honoring the Lord, celebrating, that's a form of service, because the materialists, instead of doing that, they will celebrate the LA Rams, they will celebrate the whatever Seahawks, different teams that they root for or that they think are beneficial to have as a rooting object. So all of these people, they have all these different devotees, I should say, they have their own particular rasas, and Krishna does not discourage any of them. He encourages them to do this, and it's all service. And as I said, a person who is in the rasa Vatsalya, which is like the parental. They see him as someone who's to be even protected, to be loved, to be cared for, to be looked after. That's the way they see him. Mother Yashoda and all her friends look at him that way. In any event, through those different rasas, that is how they serve the Supreme Lord. And in that service, Krishna knows that the level of service that they give, the purity of the service, the intensity of the service, is what causes him to feel deep and great indebtedness to them. As they surrender unto me, Krishna says, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects. So what is the reward? The reward is the greatest reward that anyone could ever get, and that is he rewards us with himself. More and more or less and less. If we're proud and we're arrogant, and we're vain and we're contemptuous and condescending, he pulls out whatever he's rewarded us with, he withdraws, because we have lost the qualification to have that. And if we have had very little of that, no vanity, no pride, no contemptuousness of others, always looking for an opportunity to serve Krishna. So he will give more and more of his grace to such persons. Great devotees, they give tremendous amount of service, but in their heart of hearts, they never feel they're giving any service because they feel the Lord deserves this and much, much more. So we should never come to a point and say, yeah, I really did a great job today. I gave him my all, and I don't know if I can do that again, but anyway, he got the best of me. This is not devotional service. That has nothing to do with it. I never can give enough. When we actually begin to appreciate how great he is, how kind he is, how sweet he is, how loving he is, all the protections he gives us. As he himself says in the Bhagavad Gita, those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. He's preserving. He's making sure nobody's breaking into our rooms. No one's stealing our computers. Excuse me. No one is taking away that Mahaprasad that we hid in our lockers. And when you come and open it, it's still in the locker. He's protecting everything that is needed to be protected. Of course, if it was stolen, then he makes sure that somebody else steals it, so that then you don't get so much bad karma, because you don't take that we don't take that to ourselves. So Krishna is granting us his love. That is what he gives. That is his gift. And when we receive that gift, it enables us, first of all, to love him more. What does it mean to love him more? It means submit more, giving more submission, more surrender, more a sense of smallness next to Krishna, of course. A great devotee never compares himself to other devotees. There's no reason to do that. Because then one begins to feel, oh, he's better, well, I have to work harder to become better than him. This is all material, completely. But when one realizes relationship, when one realizes his status or his position next to Krishna, well, Krishna is always infinitely higher and better and greater and grander. And in that understanding, we give our whole self. But it's not easy, because we've come into this world to be lords. And it doesn't disappear too easily. The desire to want to be somebody, the desire to want to be important, the desire to want to be grand, to be glorious, to be applauded, to be looked up to be bowed down to, it doesn't die easily. So some of the devotees, they will come to me and say, I still have this desire. I want to be praised. I want to be honored. I say, oh, don't worry about it. When Krishna will give you enough misery, you'll not want to be praised anymore. It goes away. Krishna has his way of straightening us out. So those things will go. Actually, why should we want to be praised? Next to Krishna, what are we? And whatever we have, whatever qualities we have, whatever abilities we have, whatever capacities we have, whatever skills we have, who are they coming from? Who is the source of all that? Krishna. Krishna is the source of it all. So if Krishna is the source of it all, why would we want to take any credit for it? It belongs to him. It's his. And so we should be happy to always glorify him because he is the one who gives us these. As I have so often said in that very nice prayer, my dear Lord Krishna, I am nothing except what you make me. I have nothing except what you give me. I know nothing except what you teach me. I do nothing except what you enable me. I accomplish nothing except what you arrange for me. And I want nothing except pure love of your lotus feet through pure devotional service. For then I will have everything. And what is that everything? That everything is total, pure surrender to you, which will bring me the highest, the greatest, the best of bliss, peace, happiness, and strength. If we have that, we have everything. So Krishna is always making sure that all of the devotees are sometimes receiving a little pain and suffering in order to teach some lessons, or he's giving us some pleasure and upliftment in order to let us know that he is seeing what we are doing and he's gladdened by what we are doing, and his gladness is being transferred to us as our gladness, and the result is that Krishna is always happy to see us happy and to see us happier and happier. That is his only wish. And when he sees that we are becoming purer and purer, how he gives himself to us is he makes us still purer and still pure. We should never think that we have reached it. Yeah, now I'm pure. I'm perfectly pure now. So I don't have to get pure anymore. I don't even have to chant the holy name anymore. No, a person who is actually very advanced always thinks the very opposite. He thinks that he's small, he's low, he's insignificant, he's worthless, he's full of offenses, full of sins. Read the statements of Rupa Goswami when he meets Lord Chaitanya for the first time. Read that. It's amazing how he approaches. Rupa Goswami is not some small-time nobody. I mean, he was an executive person in the Muslim governor's office. But he himself thinks that he's nobody. He's nothing. He says, Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami is saying, people think that I'm very learned, that I know so much. Of course, he knew about 4 different languages or so. And he was very smart, very knowledgeable, very elegant, very eloquent too in his speaking. But he himself considers him nothing. You know why he thinks he's nothing? Because he says, I don't know who I am. I don't know what the purpose of life is. I don't know where I'm supposed to go, and that's why I'm throwing myself at your feet, begging, crying, looking up to you and saying, please guide me, please direct me, please enable me to find out the answers to these questions so that I really can become truly smart. I can truly become very, very knowledgeable, and I will be able to share that knowledge with others who are ignorant just as I am. So this is the mentality of a very advanced soul. So anytime we feel a little bit proud, we have to think about Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami and the Goswamis, why they were so loved and so liked by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They were all so humble, especially Haridas Thakur. When Haridas Thakur asked Lord Chaitanya, he said, you're going to leave your body soon, but I want to leave first because it will just crack me up, totally destroy me if you leave first. So I want to leave first. That way I have some command and control of it. So he asked Lord Chaitanya if he would please sit in front of him the next day when he would voluntarily, willfully, as just like Bhishma Dev, he could leave his body at will. These are advanced souls, and they don't go around with a big sign saying, I can leave my body at will. And I want everybody to know that I can leave my body at will. So take heed, take heart, and understand and know how great I am. Nobody is doing like that. These great souls, they hide these things. But when it's time to use them, they use them. Hanuman didn't go around with a sign saying, hey, I can fly over the ocean, the ocean to Sri Lanka. He kept it quiet. But Jambavan, he said, Hanuman, we're trying to get somebody to go over to find Sita in Sri Lanka. He says, Hanuman, why are you being so quiet? So he didn't say anything. He was so humble about the whole thing. So then Jambavan knew the whole secret. Actually, Hanuman had totally forgotten all his powers. That was a curse that had been given to him. But it would be removed when someone would remind him of the powers that he had, and Jambavan was the person. So suddenly he realized, yeah, he can jump high, he can become as big as a mountain, and he did just those things. So, and he went ahead and manifested. He used the powers to serve his beloved Lord Ramchandra, to find Mother Sita. So this was a useful, beneficial use of powers. It says over here also that the Lord is ready to grant the supreme position, Godhead, to anyone, no matter how low he or she may be. As it says, a chandala, or a prostitute, or a person who maybe has some bad habits. As long as a person is making a sincere and serious and dedicated, devoted effort to overcome all that, the Lord will see that. And in seeing that, to the devotee, it may be a very small effort because he himself is doing it. And he sees other devotees so much more advanced than he is. So the devotee doesn't think very high of it. But Krishna thinks of it as mountainous, big, great. That's why he is so great, because he sees those things which we see as small and insignificant, and if not even pointless, but beneficial. He sees these as great because he sees the limitations of the devotee, number one, and he sees the effort of the devotee, number two. And if he sees the devotee is making a tremendous effort in order to overcome some particular hang-up that he has, some particular bad habit he may have, or whatever it may be, he sees the effort. And because he sees, although that devotee has some bad qualities, he's trying very hard, very sincerely, very effortfully to overcome them. And that's what he sees. And therefore he sees it in a mountainous way. Other devotees, they may just see him, he has difficulties, he has limitations, he has hang-ups and this. They don't see the same person that Krishna is seeing. Okay? So therefore Krishna gives much credit to those persons on the basis of their extreme efforts. So, anyway, that is the important. A good example is that one day Narad Muni was walking in the woods, forest, and he began to encounter various animals like rabbits, and deer, and birds. They were half killed. When an animal is half killed, it's shaking because it's in pain, it's suffering. So and it also often may whimper. Sorry. But I just want to make it realistic. So the animal makes noises. We've heard somebody, you ever step on a dog's foot? It goes like that. And he wants to bite you right in the ankle. And sometimes he does. My aunt had a dog. His name was Peppy, and I stepped on his foot accidentally. Well, he showed me how peppy he was. Really peppy. So anyway, Narada Muni was walking through the woods, and he was seeing all these half-killed animals. So he wanted to know who was doing this. So he kept walking, and then he saw this man, dressed in skins, bow and arrow, and getting ready to shoot another. And he says, "Hey, wait, hold." He said, "Why are you doing this?" He says, "What are you talking about? What am I doing? This is how I make my living." He says, "Yes, but you don't have to half kill the animal. Of course, it's bad enough to kill the animal, but to half kill them is even worse. And you're going to get a terrible karmic reaction. Somebody is going to come in your next life and do everything that you're doing to all these animals, and you're going to feel the pain that the creatures are feeling. Why are you doing this?" He said, "Well, my father taught me." Your father taught you? He says, yes, he gets a lot of pleasure. So I get a lot of pleasure. He says, this is disgraceful. This is disgusting. This should not be done, and you're going to suffer terrible. So because Narada Muni was so sweet, so pure, so full of love, he didn't just say words, but he said the words in such a way as that he was feeling the compassion for that particular, individual who is going to be suffering in the future. Worse than all these animals put together. And he wanted to save him. That's the nature of pure devotee. It's not that, he has to do it on 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I will go out and save people. It's a mood, it's an attitude, it's a feeling that whenever the opportunity is there, save them. For example, people walk by with their dogs by here. So you can save the dogs. You approach the dog and you say, oh, what a beautiful little dog. He looks so cute. Oh, can I tang it? Yeah, you can. He said, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And then you got the mantra. So you're ready to serve. We're ready to help that dog. We should not think. All have to do is read the story of Ajamil. It's all there. The whole philosophy of the Hare Krishna mantra is there. That when anyone hears it, the sins, they vanish. And that's why sometimes these dog owners, in a few weeks after the dog hears the Hare Krishna mantra, he dies. He becomes a human being or goes back to God. And who can say? The important point is that benefit comes. And the attitude of gratitude that a devotee has, the gratitude that we get from Krishna as a result of what he's given us, then we want to share it with others. And so that's what the devotee does. So getting back to the story, so he asked, why do you do this? He said, well, I enjoy it. And he explained to him that if he continues doing it, he will experience so much pain, so much suffering that he would not even believe it. So he told him, best thing is you give it up. He said, well, how can I give it up? This is how I make my living. He says, don't worry about anything. So he probably gave him it doesn't say there in the book, but Narada Muni is known to give the mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, gives it to Dhruva, he may have. So he gave him a place, told him he should build a little hut at the edge of the river, and that he should just do certain spiritual practices, and things will happen. He said, well, how will I get fed? Don't worry about it, he said. The Lord, God, will take care of you. He said, well, I don't know this Lord. Well, you don't have to know him. He knows you, and he will take care of you. He couldn't help being convinced by Narada. We should be praying to have that degree of conviction in our speech, so that when we speak to somebody and we say, yes, you will be benefited, you'll be highly, you'll have so much happiness, so much fulfillment, so much satisfaction, you can't even believe that they'll believe us. And there are advanced souls who are believed. All they do is say it once, and they look into the person's eyes and says, okay, I'll take it, I'll try it, let me see. So anyway, what happened was that Magrari, his name was, he built the hut and he lived in that hut. And in the first day, food started arriving from all over that little village there. He had more than he needed. In fact, he was giving it out, which is a nice service to perform. When you have more food than you need, you give it out. That's a wonderful way. And he was returning or giving back what he was, in a sense, getting from. So what happened was that this went on for a certain amount of time, and then one day Narada Muni and his friend Parvat Muni, they're both sages. Narada wanted to take Parvat for a little jaunt, a little trip to see one of his disciples. So they went there, and they were about maybe 75 yards away from the hut. And then Magari, he saw him there, and he waved to him, and he wanted to pay obeisances, but there were a lot of ants in that area. But he wanted to first get close to Narada Muni and pay his obeisances there. So he was taking very, very tiptoeish steps. One step here, one step there, another step here, and another step here. And he was taking these different steps, and very, very gentle, very, very gentle. And so when he got there, he offered his obeisances. And Narada Muni had already told Parvat Muni the character that this person, this Mogari, had. What he used to do is, when he would shoot the animals and leave them half dead, now he was worried about even stepping on an ant. So we can see the transformation that went on in the man's heart. He was no longer the person he once was. And that's what this Hare Krishna mantra is all about. The more we chant it with love, we chant it with appreciation, we chant it with gratitude, we chant it with affection, we chant it with pleasure over just hearing the wonderful sound of it. The fact that Krishna has come and given himself to us in the mantra. All this is a blessing, it's a benediction, which none of us deserve, absolutely none of us. We have committed too many sins, too many wrongs, too many offenses, but Krishna sees the benefits that we are offering in sense of devotional service, small as it may be. To him it's mountainous, and therefore he continues to enable us, to help us, to prod us, and to purify us. So this is what happened, that a person as low as low class, very rough, very coarse, very ignoble, what could happen to him, then what could happen to us? We were not even anywhere near in that condition. Nobody here is going out and shooting animals, going to the parks and looking for some quarry. So therefore we are indeed very, very, very blessed. And we should always remind ourselves or count our blessings, the food and clothing and shelter and health and guidance, direction, and the prayers that we receive, the programs that we have here, the devotee association that we have. All this is one great benediction in many, many parts. And so many millions of people do not have it, and we have it. So we should cherish it, we should treasure it, we should be so thankful to the Lord, and our way of paying back, actually we can never pay back. There's no payback to the Lord, because it's an infinite debt we have. Something that's infinite has no end. So our debt is infinite, and our feeling should be, I'm still always in debt, in arrears, and may I go on being in arrears so that I can continue to feel my connection, my relationship, my love, my surrender to the Supreme Lord every moment, every second, every day, every year, forever and ever. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions or not? No questions? You got 3 seconds. 1, 2, I'm stretching them out. 3, done. Prasadam ki. I can't compete with, thank you. I can't compete with prasadam. It's an impossibility. Pleasure.